so much for having me.
And welcome to everybody watching. This is so amazing because I don't know about anyone else, but the end of the summer and all of these like rise in cases, you know, we can easily kind of get down, and it's moments like this right now, doing the Nightcap and like having you as a guest that just makes it all better. This is what artists do. This is what art is. We're here to like have a good time and make people smile. So it's great to have you, and it's great to have everybody watching as well.
Yes,
what are you drinking tonight, Gabi?
Oh my goodness. Well, I am drinking a glass of, we're not fancy around here. I'm drinking a glass of Grey Fox Chardonnay.
That's good.
I love a nice Chardonnay. It's a Californian Chardonnay. Usually we do the local, but we were out, so we went for a California Chardonnay. What about you, Lise?
Awesome. This is like leftover Rosh Hashanah wine, but it's very good. But that's why it's red, because I feel like you drink red on like when it's holiday dinners. So I have leftover wine. I feel like we should do this kind of like almost trigger warning that this could get very Jewy with you and I on the show tonight. That this is going to be like Mark Maron, Seth Rogen, but Lisa Gabi. Got to make sure that we cover a lot of things and we don't get too Jewy with this.
You know, if you're not too Jewy, then what's the point? I say. Yeah. It's the high holidays. I mean, this is the time.
That's true. That is true. We are in the 10 days. So how did you celebrate your Rosh Hashanah?
Well, I got together with my family, my immediate family, who I'm bubbled with, and then we did a little pre-dinner Zoom with my big extended family, like 30 people on the Zoom, as I know a lot of people did, and it was just lovely. And my brother and my mom went apple picking, which is something that it's a lovely tradition for them. And I'll go back over there right before Yom Kippur to do another little family dinner and keep it in the fam, keep the traditions going. The nice thing about these like lovely family bubbles is that we can I'm lucky I'm here with my immediate family, and so we can continue to at least see them.
Right. Yes. There's a lot of new and good stuff, but there's a lot of things that we miss, obviously. But it's different. It's definitely different.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And how's married life, Gabi?
Oh my God. Well, we just celebrated.
Sadie, married lady. How annoying is that for you? But it's true now.
Like it was gonna happen. Like we knew that like leading up to the wedding, it was all about Sadie. We had like a very Fiddler on the Roof themed wedding because we met doing a production of Fiddler on the Roof, which I know that, oh, look at that. You guys are so good. You know what? I'm going to try and switch to this cam, see if this actually works any better, because now maybe I'm not as laggy. I don't think I'm as laggy anymore now.
It's probably me. I don't know. We just do what we do, and we hope the internet hangs in there.
All right, we're doing it. Yeah, like what a first year to be married. We got married September 2nd, 2019. So this is literally like just after year one, and it's been quite a year. Really challenging in some regards, but definitely more wonderful. Because the year before, leading up to the wedding, we spent almost 6 months apart.
Sorry, I'm here.
Come back. Oh, there she is. Oh, someone just said we can be sisters.
Oh, that's
true.
That's okay. If we do 23andMe far enough, we're related. but yeah, I know it's amazing, you know, for like working artists who are always on contract to finally have this time together. There must be some good stuff in that.
You know, it's like we've always said, you know, when we have really great years professionally, Jeremy, my husband, is an actor as well, and oh, there he is. When we have great years professionally, we don't see each other at all. Oh, that's us doing "We Will Rock You" a few years ago. Just looking a little bit different than us, you know, everyday life. But you know, and when we have like kind of bum years professionally, we get to see each other a whole lot more. So it's been, you know, this wonderful time where we just like we have a wonderful house in the very, very, very east end of Toronto, like the closest to Montreal I've ever been since living in Toronto. Yeah. So actually to be here, like last year we moved in, and then like 3 weeks later I found out that I was going to be in Stratford for the next year. And so this is like the most wonderful time. Who did I play in fiddler? Oh, I played Segal in fiddler. I did it 6 years apart, and I played Segal both times. And I'm very, very happy about that.
That's amazing. Is Jeremy around?
Jer?
Oh, as a matter of fact, I'm around.
He's around.
I feel like.
Why, hi there. I heard there was a special thing happening down here, so you know.
Look at you.
That was a quick change. He was helping me set up not 5 minutes ago and did a quick change into full fancy attire. That is,
oh my God,
you
look amazing. Amazing.
You look nicer than I do, Jerry.
I got a haircut a couple days ago, and I tell you, I feel like the past 6 months have just been swept off of the top of my head.
Right. So, Jer, like, since I have you here, what is the song that Gabi practices the most? What does she sing so often that it's in your head and I don't know, you can't get it out of your head and you know every lyric because she sings it so often? Does she have one of those?
She sings, like, she does a lot of concerts, so there's a lot of material. I know. I'll answer your question with another answer. A song that I wish I would hear her sing more is "People," because it's my favorite song that she sings. But I'd say, I just love when she sings that song. That just
is that going to be in the concert?
Maybe. Oh, yeah. You may see me doing that look.
I don't know the set list. So guys, like, I'm not setting it up. This is like super, super real. I really don't know what the set list is. All I know is that you've like Segalized it. Which is a term we use at the Segal Center when we make things Segal relatable. So how would you say you Segalized the concert?
Well, I think, you know, in most concerts that I do, most cabarets where I get to sort of tell stories and sing songs, I like pretty much every single one. I of course talk about doing Funny Girl because it's, you know, it's just a little bit. It was a semi important, you know, role show that I did. Oh, so great. Oh my God, there it is. That was the photo that people were messaging me who were at the speaker before I was saying, you know,
that's what's up.
That's what's yeah. The next year for sure. I would say to Segalize it, I am going to talk not just about the shows, but about how my experience in Montreal just really like the Segal Center in Montreal means so much to me. And so people who aren't necessarily right there or who saw the show there wouldn't necessarily know exactly what I'm talking about or be in the context of where I am. And so I think just putting myself in the mind frame of actually being at the Segal and knowing how amazing of a time I had and how wonderful you all treated me, you at the Segal and also the city of Montreal. As most people know, I'm a McGill grad, and so it was just so great to go back to my alma mater city, and it felt like a real home away from home. And so I get to sort of talk about the shows with people that saw them at the same time that I was experiencing all of these wonderful memories.
Amazing. I mean, it's so crazy how you just look at photos and you can call it back. You know, you could just, like how these memories just seep into you, even just by hearing a song or a photo. But it doesn't even take a photo. It like just takes the song to bring you right back to that place.
Oh, for sure. Like Jared talks about, you know, he loves when I sing people, and he was there at closing. It was, oh, I love those pictures. Oh my God. Jeremy was there on closing, which was the third time that he had seen the show. And I remember, like, you know, just even him saying that, I remember being on stage singing that song, knowing that Jeremy was in the audience watching me do this song that's his favorite song. And then afterwards, Jeremy posted about, you know, not about me closing the show, but about me singing people for the, you know, the last time in this run. And so those little nuggets just really stay with me.
Yeah. I have a very special Jeremy memory of being in the lobby with him. Like, we had never met. You, like, Jerry, you had just come for, was it opening night? It was the first time you showed up for
He dropped me off in Montreal and stayed for like the first 2 days of rehearsal, and then I didn't see
just
him
to make sure
opening.
he's set up and comfortable and everything.
Right.
For opening, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember, like, we not really meeting you for the first time for a performance, for an opening performance, and usually, like, when we open a show and I'm so happy for the cast and I have like the same jitters for the cast, but like with you, Gabi, it was almost like I'm myself. Like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just like the role of a lifetime and what this kind of must have meant. And I just remember being in the lobby and having a I'm not crying, you're crying moment with you, Jerry. like with like a ball of nerves, but just so excited and so just so proud. I guess that was the word. And you said it. You said to me, like, I remember this like yesterday, how proud you were. And like to see this come true. Do you remember the moment, Gabi, where you got the part?
Yes, because so I remember those auditions were so wonderfully challenging. Like, I think the best those auditions where you are really, really challenged in the room, it just makes it that much sweeter when you actually get it. And my wonderful agent, Bruce Dean, who like was such a, you know, he had been rooting for me almost as much as I was rooting for me, you know, to get this. He knew how much this part and this role meant to me. Like, I think he'd from taking me on years before, he knew that like this was what we were going for, you know, and not even knowing if the show would ever exist while I was with him. But I knew that I was going to be the standby in Once in Toronto for Girl, and so that was already set just a little bit before that, and these auditions were happening sort of right after that. And so he called me up one day, and he said, "I need you to come to the office to sign some things." And so whatever, I thought, okay, I'm going to go to the office to sign some things. And he was talking about, you know, our next year together, and he said, "Okay, you're doing Once, which is great." And I said, "Yep, that's really great. I'm so thrilled about that." And he said, "And then you're gonna be unavailable for a little bit after that." And, you know, just not even really, no, I didn't even know the offers were out, nothing. And he said, like, "You got that, girl." And then of course I look around and all of the agents are like looking at our meeting. Like, everyone like just cheered, and we're like, you know, like, just, it was a pretty outstanding moment when he said, it's these offers that I like to give in person. So he knew, and everyone knew just how special it was.
it's so great because, you know, we had Shalina on the Nightcap last time, and she also told a Bruce Dean story. So I don't know if you're watching or if he's gonna watch, but it's really special, these life altering moments. Sorry, Jerry, I cut you off before. If you wanted to respond to our moment, I
not at all. Like, it's just
no, it's okay.
the show, like that. Like, I know, and I assume everyone knows because I know Gabi so well. But it's like that's the show that it's kind of everything's been kind of leading towards. So the moments leading up to those first performances were just was incredible. It was just incredible to be there for.
Well, we had I want to say 2 years or 1 year before that, I had done a one night only concert with the Harold Green Jewish Theatre in Toronto, and it was just one night. But it was at that point, it was possibly the only time I was ever. It was the only night for me doing this show, and we had just started dating. We had been dating for just a couple of months at that time. And Jeremy had the opportunity to be in the ensemble of this concert, and you know, we really decided that he wanted to be there rather than be in the audience. It was a big thing. And after the night finished, the cast left the stage, and I stayed on stage to sing "My Man" as an encore. And then I went off stage, not even really knowing what had just happened. It was with an orchestra. It was a very big night. And Jeremy, who at the time, as I said, I'd only been dating for a couple months, was in full tears backstage.
I'm a bit of a suck for it.
And so not only did I realize then that just what had happened, how important that moment was for me, but also like that this guy was sticking around.
One of our first dates, I'd never seen Funny Girl before we had started dating, and like, so one of our first dates, like, well, if we're gonna go out, we're gonna have to rent this movie, and you're gonna have to get on board with that. This is going to be a big part of your life coming up. So yeah, so seeing it happen is quite amazing.
Well, surprise guest alert! Who could that be?
Oh, I have music. Wait.
I have it.
Hit it. Hi, you guys. Oh.
And Jenni! Surprise!
My heart ceased. I am on the floor.
I could not be more honored. First of all, happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Oh, congratulations. And Lisa, your show. Okay, one of the best things that came out of a global pandemic was your hosting skills, Lisa. So congratulations.
One of the best things is reconnecting with artists like you. And
thank you.
I mean, I've learned that Gabi has this talent for being such close friends with cast members, and she doesn't lose these friendships, which is a question for later on. I want to know how you do that. But you are such a gift, Jenni, to us. And in this,
my gosh.
And I just hope there are more opportunities to work together in the future. I know you're so busy all the time. Can you before we just go into Funny Girl, how are you doing? And what are some highlights for you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really well. I mean, there's too much ground to cover, but I mean, I only had one nervous breakdown, so I think I'm doing pretty well, like, you know, over the last 6 months. So
one.
Just one, I know. Yeah, no, I'm doing really well. I mean, it has been just the hugest adjustment for everyone, and I don't know, things are a little bit funny in Toronto right now. We're kind of feeling that, like, we might be taking a step backwards a little bit just because schools are going back and the numbers are kind of rising, but we're all figuring out our pivots, you know. So I mean, the pivot king and queen themselves here, congratulations on like the new local, and just I was
yes, what is the new local?
Yes,
what is the new local?
Well, We'll say this and then we'll get back to. Oh my God, you
That's
got
us.
a slide.
You got all the artwork card.
She's got a
You're
slide.
so professional.
Akiva Romer Segal for that
that's
animation, by the
beautiful
way. It's just
It was so great. He was
We
showing.
used to live in this apartment for 2 years because I got this apartment and then was never home, and so Akiva lived here for 2 years. So in fact, there's things of his that are still here. So I love me some Akiva.
The theater, traveling, living, and leaving little bits of yourself behind wherever you.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
He drew that animation for us. So he started showing people the Gabi character he made, and he was asking before I tell you who this is, do you know who this is? And people immediately were like, well, that's clearly Gabi.
Yeah.
He just nailed it.
Oh wait, can we put it up again?
Sure.
Can you put up the image again, Mel?
He's so talented.
Oh wow!
Come on. Come on.
oh, it's
There's
just so
this
good.
amazing clip of Gabi and Jer singing "Happy Days Are Here Again, Forget Your Troubles," and it's so beautiful. And we don't get to hear Jer sing as much as we get to hear Gab sing, but he's amazing, and the two of them together are just beautiful. And I was just watching all the love and flashing back to all the love, and it's really lovely just watching you guys watch each other, and we like to have a love like that. It's pretty special. I did see the show that they met in, and I will say, as a flashback story, when Bunny Girl closed, we were so devastated that we just kept staying in Montreal. We just kept pretending that. Do you remember the next day we went out and we were just I think we live here now. It was literally the happiest chapter for all of us. We were in literal bliss the whole time. And and I know that a huge part of that is the environment that you set up there. We were just so happy. And of course, Peter Hinton, right? There's something about the way that he directs that makes everyone feel like they're important and part of it and invested. It's almost audience proof, but we were just so proud of that show. And
it was so incredible. It was so incredible. Can you guys take us back though to the rehearsal process? It was one of the most unique, if not the only rehearsal that has ever gone like that in the history.
Okay, all right. Okay, I wanted to ask you about that. Is that a normal thing that happened? Because that wasn't normal for us either. So
no,
that nothing was repeated. That we never rehearsed a single day. That we did it once. A lot, for half a day, we did one scene and then didn't look at it again until Tech Week.
Remember 4 weeks ago when we blocked that? What do you got? But
you know what, you guys, there was no complaints.
No.
Sometimes you I don't know, maybe you as a company, you guys made a decision to trust Peter and this vision that he had, and he obviously trusted the company and the skills and the focus that you would have. And I remember, the first run, which was dress rehearsal, and it was.
We had never run the show at all until dress rehearsal. But
you don't want to be too soon with these things.
I run through, not at all until dress rehearsal.
And
but you
somehow
would never know. You hit it so well.
He would do the most, there should be a show of just his curtain speeches about the things that he would say to us about, how showbiz is kind of about waiting for the moment and how we're all in this together. It honestly felt like we were just being enriched on every level. And God.
Said it was inspired, and so he's so challenging as well. I think also Lisa and I were talking about the audition before. In the room, you really have to rise to the challenge of being directed by him, and that just makes you better. I would come home at the end of the day being I'm a better actor today because of the direction that I just got today, because the work I did today.
Yeah, he's a treasure. And Lisa, thank you so much. We hold the memory of that show so deep in our hearts. And yes, Gabi singing People. Oh, And I got to even be on stage for that because, somehow that
I just had a
was
flashback, Jenny, of you sitting on stage for a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
God bless you, Jenni Burke. Everyone.
Remind me, was that an intermission or like what? Or you just sat
Oh,
there?
no. Yeah. Peter had this idea about that in that half hour before the show that we'd all just start to congregate, but it started with me. So my half hour was like at 5 o'clock, for goodness sakes. But and I remember thinking, whatever he says, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm good. And I was a little bit nervous, but what was amazing about that was that you got to see people arrive excited for the show. And that was one of my stories. Like, I remember there was one matinee where there may have been 14 walkers, about 4 wheelchairs. There was a couple with an elderly blind man and his wife who proceeded to whisper the show in his ear through the whole time. And I just thought, this audience is so beautiful and so dedicated and so excited. And it was really, it was just completely magic, the whole show. And
I loved hearing those stories from you. Like, just because
what did you see today?
It was so beautiful, it was such an interesting concept that there was no overture, no real opening, just that Jenni started first at that half hour.
Waiting for Fanny Bryce.
Waiting for Fanny, like she's late, obviously, and then slowly through that half hour, people would slowly congregate to the stage and just everybody was just waiting. And so I was very separate from all of that. And so hearing these stories from you afterwards, talking about certain people that were there and just things that you heard, and it just was so meaningful. And it's so special. Like, I know it was a pain, but
no, I have, like, it's all coming back to me now. Your smile. I don't mean to be super cheesy, but I see you in my mind sitting with your legs crossed and you're like this and smiling at the audience. There, like, I just, it was a very inviting, welcoming, and brilliant direction by Peter to put you there and to know that you would be the right one to start it. I wish I could see that show again.
Yeah. Well, remount. Okay.
Hashtag saying.
I know. Spin off.
Yeah. Also, Jen, that was a mountain of the show for me. Like, it was just, you kind of really like build yourself up and take a big breath, and there you go. And the fact that within the first 2 minutes and in the last 2 minutes of the show, that yours was the face that I saw, that it was just it was so special and so reassuring. And like, out of everything that was going to happen, I knew that you had my back the whole time.
And then some. It was such an honor. All of it was, and I was part of the one nighter too. And I remember feeling this is such a magical show. I mean, it's the most showbiz show that there is. I mean, maybe Gypsy, but I mean, it's it's so special to us, and it's so rarely done because it's so hard to do. And it was something else. So yeah.
Well, ours could have had I don't know. It was brilliant. That's what I would say. It was brilliant.
I don't know anything about being a brilliant producer or a genius programmer or all the things that you do so well, Lisa. But it was a real honor. It was a real.
That's very sweet. Funny Girl was actually a team effort. It was like the year that I transferred over, and again, it was Peter Hinton's bucket list. This was a dream of his, and when you know his work and you know what he's capable of, he said, as long as we could find a Fanny Bryce, this show is going to be incredible, which is why we did the search for Fanny like 6 to 8 months earlier than we cast the rest of the show.
That's really smart, right? Because you kind of, it's like you should have somebody in mind when you're, because
It was just right. Like that's the definition of right place, right time. Just I had had some like I went and auditioned for the Broadway one that happened and then didn't happen a few
It
years.
didn't happen, did it? Right?
It didn't happen, but like I'm a full belief that everything happens for a reason. Like I just wasn't ready then, and then it didn't happen anyway. And just like things happen the way that they were meant to happen, and even just like with Peter, the fact that it was his dream show just as much as it was my dream role. So on those those hard days, because there were certainly hard days of being worked to the bone, like knowing that we had that common goal of just fulfilling our like bucket list show just was so reassuring for I think each other, just that we were there to make this the best experience we could possibly make it.
And it was.
Yeah.
It was.
Wow.
Oh,
Jenni,
love that
gorgeous
photo.
pictures.
so great to have
Lifelong
you with us.
friends. Thank you. Oh, look at the
And,
pug.
The pug.
I know, like you're welcome to
Pardon?
You're welcome to stick around. You're welcome to stick around. We
you.
need to kind of move off of the
Oh,
funny
sorry.
girl topic.
I can go on.
And I'm going to say that if you want to see more Funny Girl, then you're going to have to come to Gabi's concert on Thursday, because I'm sure she's going to throw something in from there, right? Probably. Maybe.
Maybe.
We're gonna move on to another show, Gabi, that you did with us at the Segal Center. Another one of our very, very special shows, because it was a brand new musical. And yes, it's true, we do have another surprise guest alert. But before you bring him in, who could you possibly think it would be? Who would, like Jenni, who are you very close with, who might want to come and say hi to you?
Well, obviously Ali, but we haven't talked in a couple of months. So this would be like, okay, like actually Jenni and Ali are like two of my favorite people in the whole world. So this is making my life right now. I feel like it's probably Alessandro. That's my guess.
Wow.
It's me!
Me!
Hello.
Yes! What a party! Holy moly!
Here we are. I'm wearing remember my onesie from closing night?
Of course.
My constellation onesie.
Constellation Wednesday.
Yes. Oh, Ali, hi!
Okay, so we have to fill everybody in here.
Yes.
So Alessandro played Mark Hall in The Louder We Get, which was at the Segal Center, titled Prom Queen. And which Gabi was in also for the world premiere.
Wow.
To like reunite you, even if you're like besties in real life.
Yes. Yes.
Like that was okay. So,
Yay.
oh my God, there she is. There's the storekeeper lady right at the front.
As I am with Paul.
That was oh, look at you. Look at you, Ali. You were so amazing in that show.
Thanks.
That was like, Jenni, like we were talking just about, like there's something really special about like a lead that leads with such grace and humility and fun and love and everything. Like you just totally embodied the spirit of the show, made it so nothing but a joy to do. And it was just like this show is like, it's the best, it's the most important, but also the best show. I'm obsessed with that show so much. Okay, so Ali and I, like we met, we sort of knew each other because we had done the final workshop of the show, just with a few of us. But the day that I was in Montreal early because I did the cabaret with Camilleri for some of the donors and sponsors, which was so wonderful. And Ali came in earlier than the rest of the cast as well. So I was out somewhere watching the Jays game or doing something, and I told Ali to come and visit me at the thing. And like we became like like
it was such a dream at living at Les Cités and just doing that wonderful musical with you and that whole company of artists. It was just magnificent. It was wonderful. It was
It was family, you know. Lisa, you do a good job of just bringing people together, you know.
You really do, Lisa. The Segal Center is quite a remarkable institution. I gotta say.
What is the secret, Gabi? Like, how do you stay so close? Like, this is, I think many people don't understand, is you become so close as a company when you work together. And then it's very rare, like even when you make beautiful memories together, it's very rare that you keep in touch with so many. Yet you seem to be able to do that. And I don't, maybe it's the people like Ali and Jenni that you choose, but what's the secret to maintaining these relationships? And anyone can answer that question.
Well, for me at least, it's got to be a mutual. Like it's got to be a mutual love. You know, like you meet a lot of really wonderful, amazing people in these like many contracts that we do that are sometimes like so short. Like Prom Queen was 2 months in total. Funny Girl was maybe 3. Like, you know, like of course Jenni and I knew each other
before.
We had a relationship, and that just kind of put us, you know, into like family land. But I think that just the fact that Toronto, when you're doing any contract away from home, I think that the relationships just bond you a little bit more. But it's friendship is a two-way street, and it takes people who are as willing to be in a friendship. There's a lot of people out there that you make they give wonderful show relationships with that don't continue because the effort isn't there, and there's maybe a reason for that. And there's, I think, just on the flip side, a real reason why these relationships last. Because you know it's special, and you both know that it's worth the time.
And I think you need to, like, you know, though my career hasn't been super long thus far, but I mean, I haven't really had a bad experience. And I think if you enter into a project leading with a lot of love and, like, you know, hoping that anyone you meet could become your next dearest and most beloved friend, then you're going to find something really beautiful in everybody. And then it will enrich the work. Like, you know, people say you're not going to love everyone you work with, but imagine you did. You know, how glorious and what a wonderful life it would be if you did. So that's how I try to approach things. I try to look at these people.
Oh my gosh,
you're so blessed.
What a bunch of
it seems like forever ago.
I know it does, but onesie still fits, everybody.
I'm really proud of you.
It's been so exciting. It's been so exciting, Alessandro, watching your career. You know, I remember when you auditioned for Duty, and then I remembered when you were like the Mark Hall of Our Dreams, to when you got cast in Dear Evan Hansen, to when your theater company in exploded. Like, it's just been so amazing, and it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. That's when you're just so happy for artists who are doing well.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's
how is your theater company doing?
Everything's good. You know, we've been taking the time to sort of, I'm home in Sudbury at my parents' place. I changed my childhood bedroom that used to be like only Broadway posters into a little bit more of a refined. I have select Broadway posters up there. But everything's good. We've been doing a lot of like strategic planning and things that we've never really had the time to do because we're such a small team and we just trying to sell tickets for our shows. So it's been quite a gift, actually, to just re-examine. We're heading into our second decade of operations, so this was a good time to just take stock of what we do really well and look at what we need to do better. And I'm actually I'm grateful for the time. I really am to just like take a bit of a break. And you know, we're trying to get some small little things going as per the government regulations, and we will. And I'm confident that when theater is back, there's going to be a renaissance. There's going to be an abundance of work, an abundance of stories, and people are going to have a different relationship to congregation and why it's important. And I really don't have any fears at all. You know, I'm looking forward to it.
And this is why, like, you know, just Ali, it's just you're just a beacon of light. And, you know, you talk about why you want to keep certain people in your life. Like, it's because of that, you know. And also just, I think that, you know, Ali, you were just saying that, you know, your career hasn't been that long, but like, you know, like we were in the car. I remember like carpooling to the theater, and you just like checking your phone. You're like, oh, the theater just got a $20,000 grant or something. Like, just like already. It's like,
It's amazing.
I know. Well, Jenni, you and I need to work together at some point.
I know we've never. I am a fan, and we have so many mutual friends. So I know that, like, I love him in proxy, but I don't really know him.
Same.
But I was there on opening night of that Evan Hansen, and you were genius.
Thank you.
So
well, maybe we'll do a two-hander or a
beautiful. Okay, you heard it. Somebody contract. Let's go.
This whole group.
Yeah.
And I agree. I think hopefully. Well, we will not take anything for granted anymore. And I feel like, I mean, we were always loved what we did, but we took it for granted that it would always be there. And so, I mean, we won't even take a hug for granted anymore, I think.
No. My goodness.
And it will be a really special thing as we start to, slowly move back and stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like they're modeling a lot of artistic directors are being modeled after you both. So that's the kind of vision that theaters need, and the space that people want to work in. And I mean, you guys are kind of ahead of your time, but I don't know if you're noticing, but you are the models of what our country is looking to, to furnish their
artistic leadership. Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, for sure. And this is why we are so attracted to these people. This is why we only, that's why the answer is always yes, no matter what, no matter when. It's always yes.
Yeah.
You named your daughter Sophie. Come on.
My daughter Sophie. It's so nice that you remember her.
Oh, I don't know why she just stuck in my head. Is she gonna end up in show business, Lise? Is she into it, or is she? No, really? Wow.
No,
But the son seems quite musical, no?
She will. I have to make sure she doesn't even hear.
We'll all come in.
You can't. She doesn't want any press right now.
No, because she's 13. So she's 13. So God forbid I talk about her. But she's a beautiful she's a beautiful dancer. So I just hope dance stays in her life as long as possible. I'm pushing her to stick with her training. And so I hope that stays in her life. But she's just growing and she's happy. And right now she wants to be an orthodontist, and that's fine by me. And
wow. But she sang too, didn't she? Like, she has a nice voice, doesn't she? Or no? Okay.
I think so. But she doesn't. It's the last thing they would want to do.
That's okay.
Leave it to you.
I don't know. We'll see. My son plays the piano too. He's amazing. I don't know. They're around it all the time. All they hear about is theater, and all I want to do is show them things that are theater related. So like, it's the let's not do what mom likes.
Yes, and theater was probably the thing that made you not be at home, to not be like, so it's like this, relationship with the theater. I got it. But anyway, are they back at school now too?
Yes, they're back at school. So I was going to say what's amazing in Quebec is that theaters are open, right? Like the French theaters have all launched. We're doing a show in December.
250 people, right? That's I think I just read that.
Well, the rules are as long as you can do social distancing safely. So for the Segal Center, it's more like 65 to 90.
Right.
But what?
That's wonderful. That's amazing. That's amazing that we could do that.
It's amazing. And I'll tell you, I went to the opening nights of a theater, and it's exactly as you said. It was this beautiful moment where by having a ticket, you are entering into a pact of engagement, of community engagement between artist and audience, even if the social aspect around it is gone. And so all those like worries about will people behave, will people be respectful, like there's this automatic coming to the table with respect by showing up to the theater. So it was just like it was so incredible. And at the end, after the bows, the house lights came up during the curtain call to like applaud the audience, because here we all were, you know, and it was, and even if there was no one around me, I didn't feel alone. It wasn't depressing. So
well, Lisa, that's like that doing these like just doing these virtual like live shows, especially live, like that's where I felt like it is a little bit of the middle ground.
Yeah, right.
Because when we were, you know, when things first, you know, closed down and we were watching a lot of, you know, broadcasted, like previously aired, you know, like musicals, plays, concerts, everything, which was obviously so wonderful, such a great like source of entertainment. But it's exactly what you were saying, active audiences versus passive audiences. That is what I felt. I felt watching something that was pre-existing, like I was a passive audience member, was not engaged, exactly, was not engaged the way that I felt like I wanted to be. And so at least I sort of have felt like with the live experience of these virtual shows, it's never meant to replace, but it is an and for me at least, watching, like I know my brother did a couple of like live, you know, virtual stuff, and I really felt excited for the, like, you know, I felt those butterflies, like, oh my God, he's going live, I'm watching him live. And so like with these, with, you know, with the concert on Thursday and with everything that's live, like, you know, I think using the virtual, like using the medium of virtual to celebrate the live aspect, has been something that has been really important to me and in the planning of these shows, because, oh, there we go. Very good now. Very good. Because it's about being active. If you are coming into this, if you're clicking a link, I don't want you to just watch the show and go, you know, I want you to be at your computer, to be chatting along, to use this. If we're gonna have to do this medium, let's involve the audience. Let's have you be active audience members.
Totally.
So Gabi, because we're this is such a perfect segue. I really do want to spend a few minutes to talk about the show.
Okay.
Like, so just to be clear, because I understand what you're saying, but an audience who is going to get set up around 7:30 on Thursday, what will you be doing at 7:30 on Thursday? Like, what goes into you preparing this?
So this is being powered by StreamStage. StreamStage, shout out to StreamStage, is a new sort of virtual live company that has been founded by our dear friends Daniel Abrahamson and Kayla James. They essentially have set up a sound stage in their home. And this sound stage involves 3 cameras. Cameras.
It's a multi-camera shoot. It's quite spectacular.
Like two microphones, 3 microphones.
Plus Mark, of course.
Plus, yes.
Camilleri. I was gonna ask. Camilleri playing, yes.
Of course, Camilleri is playing.
Who else?
Of course he is. And like amazing lighting, different camera angles. You know, like. Really, so everything that goes into it before is like we have over 60 cues for this show. Like it's a thing, you know, like we know we've seen a lot of these virtual shows. So when we were doing this, we wanted it to be more than just a point and shoot singing at a camera, which can be wonderful, but that's not taking advantage of this medium, you know? So we've got some fun little magic tricks that we're using as well. You know, possibly a little quick change in there. You know, of course, involving the chat and bringing up some pictures as well to go along with these stories, like to sort of make it much more
the kind of things you would do on stage, but reimagining them like, through virtual means. Yeah.
Cool.
That sounds amazing.
So it's half hour.
And
so 7:30 is when the show.
Oh, that's starts. The show starts. So that'll be.
So so there's a pre-show. Come early. Start the chat. Jared will be helping out with the chat as well, and you know, helping with all the camera moves. You may or may not hear him, see him in the show.
Maybe.
Just maybe. there's a lot of work that's gone into it, and we're really proud of it.
You don't have to worry about unwrapping your candy. You can leave your phones on. It's all the things in theater they tell you not to do. Go nuts. Like, you're at home.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And Gabi, you did this before. What was it like not having, though, the audience to vibe off of?
So we decided we did a dress rehearsal the night before, and there were like 4 other people in the room. You know, like I think it's just Dan and Kayla, Jer, Mark. And for the last one, Avery Saltzman as well was there. Of course. He's always around. He wasn't even a guest. He was just around. And,
he's the patron saint of cabarets. He's just around.
Gotta love your bubble.
So we decided that even just like 3 people applauding was better than nothing at all. And that just happened like really naturally. And we decided to keep it for the show because at least it gave us sort of the impression of what an audience was feeling, was going through. And so of course it's not the same, you know, at all, but the energy is the same, weirdly, you know, the feelings are the same, the butterflies are the same. Of course, the volume isn't the same, but it's the work and it's the experience of doing something live as well. And one of my favorite moments afterwards, of course, like I involved, you know, the chat a whole bunch during the show, but I didn't actually see the transcript of chat until afterwards. Dan had saved the entire transcript of the chat for me to actually look through afterwards. And like near the end, you know, of course, the comment that made me cry was just, you know, Gabi, we wish you could hear our applause, you know, through the screens. Like just, you know, it's like put away the ego. This is not going to be a big theater. This is not going to be, you know, you're not going to hear hundreds of people applauding. This is, it may take a bit more focus. It may be a bit of a different experience, but it is so, so, so important and equally fulfilling, you know?
Audience is an audience, right?
Yeah.
Like it really is. If it's 3,000, 4,000, if it's 2, whatever, right?
Absolutely.
An audience is an audience. And that's there's no, you know, that's just what it is. That's what it is.
Well, I think we were feeling like, you know, especially us live performers, you know, who aren't, you know, who of course maybe like have done some television and film in our careers, but who are at our core are live theater performers. I feel like we were all kind of, you know, if I'm speaking, you know, if I'm not representing people, please say so. But I at least felt a real lack of purpose right at the beginning. I felt really lost right at the beginning of all of this. Like what am I without being a performer, without having an audience? What is this thing that I am doing? And so it was just the kind of struggle to find you know, it's not even like ego, like I need to be performing for an audience, that I need that applause, but it's so much a part of who we are.
Who I am. Yeah. It's what I do. Yeah.
And we're good at it. And so to not have that, to have that be taken away is really hard. And so this is something for all of us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know it's been hard for a lot of artists to even figure that out. And you've done that so quickly, and you've done that. You've given us a gift by saying, you know what, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to give them my love and my talent. And if they show up, and we're going to show up for you on Thursday night. So, and we'll be there really supporting you and of course enjoying it. But it's amazing, I think, just that you've done this, Gabi. So we're lucky.
You're the best, Gabi Epstein.
Yeah, congratulations. It's inspiring.
Totally.
And because we didn't, it just said support local artists. And I'm just going to, for 1 second, because we didn't actually say what the new local was before. And so I have to just say it, because we'll be like, oh, we didn't actually say. So, there we go. So we are partnering with local restaurants in our East End of Toronto, and possibly expanding after this, to create virtual dinner and show events.
Yeah, much as like the theater community's been in a really hard place lately, restaurants also have been just losing business all over the place. So we realized we've got so many places around us that are struggling, and we don't have a way to communicate with audience. We thought we could team up with them and do a dinner and show. So the restaurant would deliver, we'd get all the orders and figure that out. And the restaurants deliver food to people. And we send out a link to a private Zoom concert for all the people involved. Yeah, we built a website for it.
We did.
So genius.
And so we do a live
That
dinner
is
show.
that is amazing.
Yeah, it's a little more casual, a little like we usually have a theme for it. Like we've done family night or date night, and our last one was a Broadway themed one we did for our anniversary because nothing else to do. We wanted to do something fun for that. So for that one, we raised money for a local food bank as well, to kind of keep the idea of dinner
Food
and show.
and entertainment, you
But
know.
we wanted to do something to expand to show of people who don't live in the area and all that.
So that's that. I know that in Montreal it's like a little far away, but you know, it's just we're trying something. I think we're all just kind of trying something right now. I think that's kind of what Thursday is as well. Is we're all just kind of putting ourselves out there, trying something new, trying to be creative, and try and like get through this time a little bit as well. And
That's it.
figure
We
out
can't be afraid to try things and they don't work.
So on our website, the newlocal.ca,
And we move
we've got a
on
bunch
and
of
we
different
take what worked
videos.
and take what didn't.
That's right.
So yeah, just try and
We gotta lean in. We gotta lean in, and we gotta do what we
Lean
can. Make art, and then we'll be through it, and it'll be glorious, and everyone will be.
Yes, and Lisa, thank you for reminding us that some theaters are gone back and come back, and
Yeah,
that it just makes us all feel extremely hopeful
I
that
know.
there will be an end to this time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
there will, but like we're gonna be as you know, you said like there's gonna be abundance of theater, and we're gonna be stronger for it. You know.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be our work. Everything's gonna be better. Everything
And
will-
everyone's gonna make out on stage all the time.
exactly. Every show, so
And we're
much
gonna be like, remember when we couldn't do that?
Remember we couldn't? You get a droplet. You get a droplet. You get a droplet.
We practically make look
Good
right
job.
like
Oh my goodness. John Elliott as I live and breathe.
oh Lordy.
Speaking of droplets.
Oh. Well, listen, we have to wrap up. I can't thank you enough, Jenni and Alessandro, for helping me make Gab, and Jeremy, who is in on it, helping me make the
I had no idea.
surprises possible, and for making this nightcap very special because you were a part of it. It's just so great to see
Oh,
you.
thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
I will speak for the theater community, saying like an email from Lisa Rubin saying, hey, it's a good week when you hear from somebody that you love and adore so much. We would do
Well,
anything
same
for
thing.
you. And
We just
Yeah.
can't wait to have you back again, both of you.
Anytime.
And Gabi, we'll see you Thursday. And
Oh my
we'll see you Thursday.
Okay.
And hope everyone has their tickets. You can get them right up until the day of. So we'll be waiting.
yeah.
Good night,
Bye, friends.
everybody.
Much love, everybody.
Thank you,
Oh,
Mel,
stop
behind
it.
the scenes.
Oi.
Shabbat
I
Tova.
don't know how to.
That's so violent.
Tova.
Bye.